Hello, this is Pastor Manning bringing you the Beacon of Hope podcast from Lighthouse Baptist Church at 2032 Cedar Hill Road in Lancaster, Ohio. You know, I'm somebody who has always enjoyed Christmas. Growing up, Christmas was such a big event. We had Christmas breakfast at my mom's house for over 40 years. And all the family members would come in, aunts and uncles and cousins, and we would have a great time. When I was young, all us young cousins, we would play together, and us younger cousins would try to hide our toys from the older cousins because they'd get playing with them and end up breaking them sometimes. And we had a big Christmas breakfast and family get together, and it was just a great time. I remember, though, and the subject of this little thought on the podcast today is what I would call my sad Christmas. I was not naturally a sad child, and I like Christmas time, but I remember one Christmas of my childhood that I found to be a sad Christmas. Now, in light of things now, and knowing the real heartache people go through, and some of the other things which have happened near Christmas time, it doesn't seem like much, but boy, at the time, did it ever represent a great heartache. Tell you how this sad Christmas came about. I had wanted certain things for Christmas and had asked for them. I remember I was asking for there was a certain G.I. Joe helicopter, and this is back when the G.I. Joes were big full-size things, and you could put the G.I. Joe in it, and it had a little button you'd push, and the rotor blades would go around. And I remember that, and there was an SST. They were these little car-like things, had a big wheel in the center of it, and you would pull this T-shaped stick out of it, and it would rev that wheel, and it could take off. And there was an Evel Knievel jumping motorcycle, and I just remember that. And I had told my mom a few things I wanted and such. Well, I found out somehow by listening that there was a certain closet in the big farmhouse where we lived, but there was a certain closet where Mom kept the gifts. And we had told not to be nosing around in a certain room and such. One day my opportunity was there. Oh my goodness. For some reason, I was by myself there at the house for a little bit, and I was a young fella. And just a little bit of time, and I went in there, and I still remember looking at that door, and I opened the door, and I saw some packages in there. They weren't wrapped yet. I saw these like these shopping bags and such. And oh my goodness, I took them and I looked inside. And oh, what did I see in there? There was the helicopter. There was the Evel Knievel thing. And I don't remember what all it was, but there they were. Oh, I remember the thrill and the excitement that, oh my goodness, I'm going to get these things. And I put everything back and didn't let anybody know. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's incredible. A little later on in the day, my mom was home and family's home, and it was time for me to go on my Grit route. Some of you know what the Grit newspaper was, and I sold Grit newspaper, and I had my own little route I had built up around the little town of Gratis. And I got on my bicycle, and I started to ride up to Gratis, and I started thinking about it, and all of a sudden I realized that Christmas, I thought, oh, Christmas in just a few days, and I didn't feel an excitement about it. And I didn't feel thrilled about it like I did. And it was didn't seem like the other Christmases. I thought about us having Christmas breakfast stuff, and that seemed like fun. But boy, that Christmas morning, that special something that would be on Christmas morning, and my mom didn't put all the the gifts under the tree ahead of time. She put some, but not all of them. You'd come down Christmas morning, there'd be more gifts. And boy, there they were. You hadn't seen them before, and all the excitement, that was all gone. And I still remember I was riding my little bicycle and up towards part of the little town of Gratis, where I had some of the houses to take the papers to. And I remember getting very upset as a young fella, and I remember I actually began to cry. So I thought, oh my goodness, Christmas isn't Christmas. And then I got to thinking about things, and I thought I've ruined Christmas. And I took away my Christmas. I took away my own Christmas by looking at those presents. And I was heartbroken, just heartbroken. And I probably stayed that way for a day or two. I hid it. I didn't tell anybody. And people say, oh, you excited about Christmas? I'd say, oh, yeah, I'm excited. I wasn't excited. His excitement was gone for that year for Christmas. And that just hurt so bad. And I decided something. Little young guy. I said, I'm never going to do that again. Nah, I'm not going to peek ahead at those presents ever again. Because, I did get those presents, and I acted surprised. I think I did a good job acting surprised. And I wanted my mom to be happy, and I didn't want to take any of that away. And I was grateful to have them, and I had fun playing with them. I'm not painting like I didn't, but there was just something different and something gone. And I thought, I don't ever want to lose that special something that's Christmas morning again. So I never did. I never did. Look, I didn't peek, didn't do that. Later on in life, and especially as I became a Christian young man and got saved in my 15 years old, and I learned something. And I always think back to that. I learned that one of the worst things you can do in life is to get ahead of where you're supposed to be. People who reach ahead into things that aren't theirs yet. People who try to be adults when they should still be kids. People who tried to act like married people when they're still single. All these different areas of life, people trying to get all kinds of new things, burying themselves in debt to do it. They weren't ready for it. I'll tell you what all that stuff's like. Reaching ahead and grabbing what's not yours yet. I'll tell you what it's like. It's like me as a young boy, riding that bicycle up to the little town of Gratis, Ohio. Tears streaming down my face because although the presents were there, and I did enjoy them later, but I had taken away that one thing that I couldn't replace, and that was Christmas. And I only had so many of those as a young kid, Life goes on, still enjoy Christmas, but it changes some later. And I took one of those Christmases and lost that special part of it. Why? Because I just couldn't wait until it was the right time. Well, I just never wanted to do that again. And I'll tell you what, looking back over 56 years of life, a lot of blessings I've had, there's some regrets I carry. But I'll tell you one thing I've never been sorry for. I've never been sorry for waiting for the right time, for the right thing. God bless you, and may you have a Merry Christmas.